I was a senior in high school. I had been offered 6 full rides from 6 Big Ten universities. U of M sold themselves to me as being the best. I was positive that was a good choice. My freshman year, I got several cold sores on my face. The coach said, go see Doc Anderson, so I did. He just gave me a cursory look, then he started putting on a glove, and then he started doing a hernia check, a prostate check. I was 17 as a kid. I had no idea what a prostate was. In a 2 or 3 week period, I saw him maybe 6 times. Every time I saw Dr. Anderson, I had to drop my drawers. In the fall of my junior year, I went in to see Dr. Anderson for a rash, some yellow skin coloring. He looked at it, did a prostate exam, says, you're fine. My dad saw me the next morning. He took me in, and the doctor says, you've got hepatitis. Dr. Anderson was so intent on giving me the prostate exam and the testicular check that he overlooked something that was pretty serious. Looking back at what happened to me in 1975, I realized I showed classic symptoms of a sex assault victim. I soiled my pants on campus a couple of times, started wetting the bed all the time. I started feeling tremendous amounts of guilt and shame. Because of everything that happened with Dr. Anderson, I couldn't wrestle up to the standards of my coach. I wrote the coach a letter. I mentioned the soiling of the pants. I mentioned the bedwetting. I mentioned Dr. Drop Your Drawers Anderson. Instead of calling me and asking me what the hell I was talking about and or punishing Dr. Anderson, he chose to revoke my scholarship and kick me off the wrestling team. I was convinced for decades that everything that happened was my fault. Dr. Anderson got away with this for so long because even though there were several athletes that spoke up over the decades, they were ignored or just told to shut up.
So Tad did speak up. He says if only the university would have listened to him instead of punishing him for speaking out, he could have saved Chuck Christian from the abuse.
In 1977, I was recruited by the University of Michigan to play football, and I earned a full scholarship. They wouldn't allow me to get a physical from my doctor back home in Detroit, so they told me I had to get a physical from Anderson. The physical was going normal until at the end, and he said, drop your pants and bend over. And I'm like, what? But in my mind, I'm thinking that because I'm on the next level now, I'm playing for Michigan, so I said, okay, I guess this is the way things are done here. And I bent over and I screamed like a baby. He said to me, Chuck, do you feel pressure? I said, no, I feel pain. The trainers and the coaches would actually at times threaten, if you don't practice, you're gonna have to go see Dr. Anderson. When I was 45 years old, I began to have blood in my urine. At that point, I went to see a urologist. Then when he went into the corner, put on a glove and snapped it, my brain just went zip right back to being that 18-year-old kid in Dr. Anderson's office. And I said, no, you're not gonna do that to me. Nobody's ever gonna do that to me again. About 11 years passed, and my wife told me, she's like, Chuck, if you really need to go see a urologist for this, because if you don't, you will die. So that's when they found out that I had prostate cancer. It had also spread into my spine, my ribs, my tailbone, my shoulders. The doctor gave me 3 years to live.
Do you have a story or a question for me? Click the link in the description and tell me what in the world is going on.